A Case of Identity. This story explores a curious domestic mystery, beginning with a philosophical debate between Holmes and Watson about the strangeness of real life. A new client, Ms. Mary Sutherland, arrives with a heartbreaking tale of a fiancé who vanished on their wedding day, leading Holmes to uncover a cruel deception that lies closer to home than she could ever imagine.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man could invent. We would not dare to conceive the things which are really mere commonplaces of existence. If we could fly out of that window hand in hand and peep in at the queer things which are going on, it would make all fiction most stale and unprofitable.
And yet I am not convinced of it. The cases which come to light in the papers are, as a rule, bald enough and vulgar enough. Realism pushed to its extreme limits is neither fascinating nor artistic.
A certain selection and discretion must be used. Depend upon it, there is nothing so unnatural as the commonplace.
I can quite understand your thinking so. In your position, you are brought in contact with all that is strange. But here, let us put it to a practical test. Here is the first heading, a husband's cruelty to his wife. I know without reading it that it is all perfectly familiar. There is the other woman, the drink, the blow, the bruise.
Indeed, your example is an unfortunate one for your argument. This is the Dundas separation case, and I was engaged in clearing up some small points. The husband was a teetotaler. There was no other woman, and the conduct complained of was that he had drifted into the habit of winding up every meal by taking out his false teeth and hurling them at his wife. Not an action likely to occur to the average storyteller. Take a pinch of snuff, doctor, and acknowledge that I have scored over you.
That snuff box is magnificent. Its splendor is in such contrast to your simple life.
Ah, I forgot I had not seen you for some weeks. It is a little souvenir from the King of Bohemia in return for my assistance in the case of the Irene Adler papers.
And the ring?
It was from the reigning family of Holland. The matter was of such delicacy that I cannot confide it even to you.
And have you any cases on hand just now?
Some 10 or 12, but none which present any feature of interest. They are important, you understand, without being interesting. It is usually in unimportant matters that there is a field for observation. It is possible, however, that I may have something better before very many minutes are over, for this is one of my clients, or I am much mistaken.
He had risen and was gazing down into the street. I saw a large woman with a heavy fur boa and a large curling red feather in her hat. She peeped up at our windows, nervous and hesitating. Suddenly, with a plunge, she hurried across the road.
Sound of a sharp bell clang.
I have seen those symptoms before. Oscillation upon the pavement always means an affaire de cœur. She would like advice, but is not sure that the matter is not too delicate. Here we may take it that there is a love matter, but that the maiden is not so much angry as perplexed or grieved. But here she comes in person.
A tap at the door.
Miss Mary Sutherland, sir.
The lady herself loomed behind the small figure of the boy in buttons. Holmes welcomed her with easy courtesy and looked her over in his minute, abstracted fashion.
Do you not find that with your short sight, it is a little trying to do so much typewriting?
I did at first, but now I know where the letters are without looking.
A sudden gasp.
You've heard about me, Mr. Holmes, else how could you know all that? Will, with gasps, we know who last Peel Holmes, Yidithidra?
Never mind. It is my business to know things. If not, why should you come to consult me?
I came to you, sir, because I heard of you from Mrs. Etheredge. Oh, Mr. Holmes, I wish you would do as much for me. I'm not rich, but I would give all I have to know what has become of Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Why did you come away to consult me in such a hurry?
Yes, I did bang out of the house. It made me angry to see the easy way in which Mr. Windybank, that is, my father, took it all. He would not go to the police, and he would not go to you. It made me mad, and I just came right away.
Your father, your stepfather surely, since the name is different.
Yes, my stepfather. He is only 5 years and 2 months older than myself. My mother is alive. Father was a plumber and left a tidy business. When Mr. Windybank came, he made her sell it. He was very superior, being a traveler in wines.
Your own little income, does it come out of the business?
Oh, no, sir. It was left me by my Uncle Ned in Auckland. It's £2,500 in New Zealand stock, but I can only touch the interest, which is $100 a year. As long as I live at home, they have the use of the money. Mr. Windybank draws my interest every quarter and pays it over to Mother.
You interest me extremely. This is my friend, Dr. Watson, before whom you can speak freely. Kindly tell us now all about your connection with Mr. Hosmer Angel.
I met him first at the gasfitters' ball. Mr. Windybank did not wish us to go. He never wished us to go anywhere. But this time I was set on going. He went off to France on business, but we went, Mother and I, and it was there I met Mr. Hosmer Angel.
I suppose when Mr. Windybank came back from France, he was very annoyed.
Oh, he was very good about it. He laughed and said there was no use denying anything to a woman.
I see. And at the ball you met a gentleman called Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Yes, sir. We met twice for walks, but after that Father came back again, and Mr. Hosmer Angel could not come to the house anymore. Father was going off to France again in a week, and Hosmer wrote and said it would be safer not to see each other until he had gone. We could write in the meantime. We were engaged after the first walk.
What office did he work in?
That's the worst of it, Mr. Holmes. I don't know. He slept on the premises in Leadenhall Street. I addressed my letters to the post office there to be left till called for.
It was most suggestive. Can you remember any other little things about him?
He was a very shy man. He would rather walk with me in the evening than in the daylight. Even his voice was gentle. He'd had the quinsy when he was young, and it had left him with a weak throat and a hesitating, whispering fashion of speech, and he wore tinted glasses against the glare.
And what happened when Mr. Windybank returned to France?
Mr. Hosmer Angel came and proposed that we should marry before Father came back. He made me swear on the testament that I would always be true to him. Mother was all in his favor. I wrote to Father at Bordeaux, but the letter came back on the very morning of the wedding. It missed him.
Ha! That was unfortunate. Your wedding was arranged for the Friday?
Yes, sir, at St. Saviour's. Hosmer came for us in a hansom, but as there were 2 of us, he put us both into it and stepped himself into a 4-wheeler. We got to the church first, and when the 4-wheeler drove up, he never stepped out. The cabman looked, and there was no one there. That was last Friday, and I have never seen or heard anything since.
It seems to me that you have been very shamefully treated.
Oh no, sir. He was too good and kind to leave me so. All that morning he was saying that whatever happened, I was to be true to him. My opinion is that some unforeseen catastrophe has occurred to him.
How did your mother take the matter?
She was angry and said that I was never to speak of it again.
And your father?
He seemed to think I should hear of Hosmer again. As he said, what interest could anyone have in bringing me to the doors of the church and then leaving me? Oh, it drives me half mad to think of it.
Sobbing heavily.
I shall glance into the case for you. Let the weight of the matter rest upon me now. Above all, try to let Mr. Hosmer Angel vanish from your memory, as he has done from your life.
Then you don't think I'll see him again?
I fear not. I should like an accurate description of him and any letters of his which you can spare.
I advertised for him. Here is the slip, and here are 4 letters from him. My address is 31 Lyon Place, Camberwell. My father travels for Westhouse and Marbank in Fenchurch Street.
Thank you. Let the whole incident be a sealed book.
You are very kind, Mr. Holmes, but I cannot do that. I shall be true to Hosmer. He shall find me ready when he comes back.
For all the preposterous hat, there was something noble in the simple faith of our visitor which compelled our respect. She laid her papers upon the table and went her way.
Quite an interesting study, that maiden. More interesting than her little problem, which is rather a trite one. Old as is the idea, there were 1 or 2 details which were new to me, but the maiden herself was most instructive.
You appeared to read a good deal upon her which was quite invisible to me.
Not invisible, but unnoticed, Watson. You did not know where to look. I can never bring you to realize the importance of sleeves or the great issues that may hang from a bootlace. Now, what did you gather from that woman's appearance?
Well, she had a slate-colored hat with a red feather, a black jacket, a brown dress with purple plush at the neck and sleeves. Her gloves were grayish and worn through at the right forefinger. She had an air of being fairly well-to-do.
Upon my word, Watson, you are coming along wonderfully. You have missed everything of importance, but you have hit upon the method. Never trust to general impressions. Concentrate upon details. My first glance is always at a woman's sleeve. The double line, a little above the wrist, where the typewriter presses against the table, was beautifully defined. I then glanced at her face, and observing the dint of a pince-nez, I ventured a remark upon short sight and typewriting. I was then surprised to observe that her boots were odd ones. One had a decorated toe cap, the other a plain one. One was buttoned only in the 2 lower buttons, the other at the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. When a young lady comes away from home with odd boots half-buttoned, it is no great deduction to say that she came away in a hurry.
And what else?
I noted that her right glove was torn, and both glove and finger were stained with violet ink. She had written a note in a hurry. But I must go back to business. Would you mind reading me the advertised description of Mr. Hosmer Angel?
Missing, a gentleman named Hosmer Angel, about 5 feet 7 in height, sallow complexion, black hair, bushy, black side whiskers and mustache, tinted glasses, slight infirmity of speech, BTT.
That will do. As to the letters, they're commonplace, absolutely no clue, save that he quotes Balzac once. There is one remarkable point, however.
They are typewritten.
Not only that, but the signature is typewritten. Look at the neat little Hosmer Angels at the bottom. The point about the signature is very suggestive. In fact, we may call it conclusive.
Of what?
My dear fellow, is it possible you do not see how strongly it bears upon the case? However, I shall write 2 letters, which should settle the matter. One is to her stepfather, Mr. Windybank, asking him to meet us here at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And now, Doctor, we can do nothing until the answers come.
It was not until close upon 6 o'clock the next day that I was able to drive to Baker Street. I found Sherlock Holmes alone, half asleep, with a formidable array of bottles and test tubes nearby. Well, have you solved it?
Yes, it was the bisulfate of baryta.
No, the mystery.
Oh, that! There was never any mystery in the matter. The only drawback is that there is no law that can touch the scoundrel.
Who was he then?
A heavy footfall in the passage and a tap at the door.
This is the girl's stepfather, Mr. James Windybank.
The man who entered was a sturdy, middle-sized fellow, clean-shaven, with a bland, insinuating manner and a pair of wonderfully sharp and penetrating gray eyes.
Good evening, Mr. Holmes. I am afraid I am a little late. I am sorry that Miss Sutherland has troubled you about this little matter. It was quite against my wishes that she came. Besides, it is a useless expense, for how could you possibly find this Hosmer angel?
On the contrary, I have every reason to believe that I will succeed in discovering Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Mr. Windybank gives a violent start and drops his gloves.
I am delighted to hear it.
It is a curious thing that a typewriter has quite as much individuality as a man's handwriting. You remark in this note of yours, Mr. Windybank, that in every case there is some little slurring over of the E and a slight defect in the tail of the R.
We do all our correspondence with this machine at the office. No doubt it is a little worn.
And now I will show you what is really a very interesting study. I have here 4 letters which purport to come from the missing man. They are all typewritten. In each case, not only are the E's slurred and the R's tailless, the 14 other characteristics to which I have alluded are there as well.
I cannot waste time over this sort of fantastic talk, Mr. Holmes. If you can catch the man, catch him, and let me know when you have done it.
Sound of a key turning in a lock.
Certainly, I let you know then that I have caught him. Get not a squirrel.
Then's where? Oh, where? Where?
Oh, it won't do. Really, it won't. There is no possible getting out of it, Mr. Windybank. It is quite too transparent. That's right. Sit down and let us talk it over.
It's not actionable.
I am very much afraid that it is not. But between ourselves, Windybank, it was as cruel and selfish and heartless a trick as ever came before me. The man married a woman much older than himself for her money, and he enjoyed the use of the money of the daughter. Her marriage would mean the loss of 100 a year, so what does her stepfather do? He takes the course of keeping her at home. But she became restive. What does her clever stepfather do then? He disguised himself, covered those keen eyes with tinted glasses, masked the face with a mustache, sunk that clear voice into a whisper, and appears as Mr. Hosmer Angel.
It was only a joke at first. We never thought that she would have been so carried away.
The deception could not be kept up forever. The thing to do was to bring the business to an end in such a dramatic manner that it would leave a permanent impression. Hence, those vows of fidelity. As far as the church door he brought her, and then conveniently vanished by the old trick of stepping in at one door, a four-wheeler, and out at the other. I think that was the chain of events, Mr. Windybank.
It may be so, or it may not, Mr. Holmes. But if you are so very sharp, you ought to know that it is you who are breaking the law now, not me. As long as you keep that door locked, you lay yourself open to an action for assault.
The law cannot, as you say, touch you. Yet there never was a man who deserved punishment more. If the young lady has a brother or a friend, he ought to lay a whip across your shoulders. By Jove, it is not part of my duties, but here's a hunting crop handy, and I think I shall just treat myself to...
Wild clatter of steps on the stairs. A heavy hall door bangs.
There's a cold-blooded scoundrel. That fellow will rise from crime to crime until he ends on a gallows. The case has, in some respects, been not entirely devoid of interest.
I cannot now entirely see all the steps of your reasoning.
Well, it was obvious that Mr. Hosmer Angel must have some strong object, and the only man who profited was the stepfather. The fact that the two men were never together was suggestive. So were the tinted spectacles and the curious voice, which hinted at a disguise. My suspicions were confirmed by his action in typewriting his signature, which inferred that his handwriting was so familiar to her that she would recognize it. All these isolated facts pointed in the same direction.
And how did you verify them?
Having spotted my man, it was easy. I eliminated the disguise from the description and sent it to his firm. I had already noticed the peculiarities of the typewriter, so I wrote to the man himself, As I expected, his reply was typewritten and revealed the same defects. The same post brought me a letter from the firm to say that the description tallied in every respect with their employee, James Windybank. Wawa 2.
And Miss Sutherland?
If I tell her, she will not believe me. You may remember the old Persian saying, "There is danger for him who taketh the tiger cub, and danger also for whoso snatches a delusion from a woman."